Well, hey y'all, welcome back to the Life of Nana. I'm Nana and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Today we are cooking for Easter. We are believers, and so today we're going to be cooking a meal for me and Papa. And I found this neat little lamb. It is a two-piece cake pan. It is vintage. Try not to make so much noise. It is vintage. I found it at a antique shop where we went last weekend, and I'm so excited to use this. But because I've never used it before, we are going to be using a box cake mix. I thought it might turn out better. I'm not sure if it will or not. We're going to be making 2 Easter cakes today and a small Easter meal for Papa and I. I'm not cooking a big ham. I do have a video, if you'd like to go watch that, where I cook a big meal from a leftover ham from Christmas. As a matter of fact, I would love it if you would go watch that video. I'm just going to be cooking a small ham steak for Papa and I, and some beans, and we have some cornbread that's left over, and but I am gonna be making these 2 cakes, and both of these are really cute, and I hope they turn out well. So I'm not sure about this one, guys, but we'll see. Isn't he cute? Isn't he cute? And the lamb represents Christ, which I love. And then the other cake that I'm making is just going to be a traditional kind of a bunny cake. So we'll see how they turn out. And let's get the KitchenAid over so you can see. Now, this cake mix calls for 2/3 cup of water or milk, a half a stick of butter softened, and 2 eggs. So let me check my water because I think I have too much water in here. I do. That's why it's always good to double check recipes, because when I read that the first time, I thought it said 3/4 of a cup. All right, so y'all, it's pollen season here in Alabama. Whew, got none of the allergies all acting up. I do apologize for clearing my throat so much. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pour the pound cake mix into our KitchenAid mixer. You can certainly mix this by hand, or if you have a hand mixer, you can do that. Either one. And then it says mix batter, water, butter, and eggs in a medium bowl on low speed for 30 seconds. And then on medium speed for 2 minutes. The batter will be thick, or beat by hand if you're doing it that way for 4 minutes. Now, when you're using this pan, the only part of the pan that we're going to fill up is the front part. So we want to make sure we've got the little face, and we're going to put that in here. And we're going to spray this. And I actually went and bought some spray because this has to be sprayed really well, both sides, so that this cake will come out good. I hope it does. All right, so let's go ahead and cut the butter because it says that we only need a half a stick. This has been sitting out all morning. We're going to put that in there. We'll set this aside. We'll turn the mixer on to low. raise up my pan. I'm going to add the water. And we're going to add our 2 eggs. Okay, I'm going to let this down and I'm going to scrape it down. Scrape down the sides. Get the butter back down in there. So everything can mix up well. I want to get this side too. Now it doesn't say to do this, but I'm going to scrape this down one more time. I want to make sure that the butter is all down in there and it gets incorporated well. All right. We're going to turn it to medium speed and we're going to let it go for 2 minutes. Okay, so I have sprayed my pan really well. And I'm checking it twice, making sure that everything looks good. And I'm going to get my pan just in case this does bubble over. And if you look, it has the back part has a little hole right here. That's so you can check it, and that's so that steam can release. Now you want to fill this part of the pan completely. So that's what we're going to do. There is a pan that's older than this that the ears kind of stick out on. Okay, this is not going to be enough. It's a good thing I bought 2. All right. Well, this pan is going to take 2 boxed cake mixes. Just barely. But that's okay. I will bake the rest of this up in the little loaf pan I have here. And we'll have it for another day. That's always nice. You want this as full as you can possibly get it without it running over. And then we're going to put the other piece on here. And we're going to tie the 2 together. I have some twine that's been soaking in water. You want to make sure that the front part of your mold is the one that's really doing great, because we can hide a lot. Okay. Now I'm going to take my twine here. Again, I've never done this before, so this is just trial and error here. We're just trying to keep this from popping up. And I hope that'll work. And even if it pops up a little, a lot can be done with icing and coconut and all the other things we're going to put on it. We're just going to slide this back just a little. We want this to be pretty tight, so there we go. That looks pretty good. All right. Now, everybody, cross your fingers, say a little prayer that these come out well. Okay, so we need to set a timer for around 50 to 60 minutes, and we will come back and check this with a skewer and see if it's done. And we're going to cross our fingers, and we're going to say a little prayer, and we're going to hope that this little lamb cake will come out in a really sweet way. That's what we're hoping for. All right, we are going to get started on the ham steak and the beans. The beans are already done. We just have to pour them in here and let them start cooking. That's what I love about having canned food on the shelf, is you don't have to worry about cooking something like that. Now, I did buy this simply because I wanted some ham for Easter without cooking a big ham. So I've got a little oil in my pan, and I'm just going to take this ham steak out, and we are going to fry it up. Now, if you hear appliances in the background, Papa's making coffee, and I have the microwave going, so, you know, it's real cooking here, so I always worry about that. I don't know why, but I do. So I'm going to turn both of these up on high for now, and then we'll turn them back down as soon as they start cooking well. So I'm super excited to see how the cake turns out. I'm going to make two, and that way, if the little lamb one doesn't do well, then oh well, we'll just crumble it up and make something else out of it. But if it does do well, then wonderful. We'll have something really sweet and cute for Easter. Now the other one is going to be a carrot cake with cream cheese icing. To be for the cake that is in the little pan, the one that's the little lamb, is we're going to be using what I've always heard called wedding cake frosting. So it's made with, in case you didn't know, it's made with shortening instead of butter. We have our beans that we canned, and we have some corn that we got from the grocery store because we can't grow corn here. And we got some ham here, so let's give this a taste. Oh, I forgot the cornbread. Yeah, that is so good. Such a simple meal to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. And we're going to make a carrot cake. And I'm taking the easy way out, guys, today because Nana's tired. And we're going to make it out from a box mix, which is just fine. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so we're going to divide this between the two pans. Somehow I lost some of my files and video, so I wanted to show you how the cake turned out. I think it turned out really cute, and I can tell you that it's easy to do. I hope you like it. I highly recommend the piping bags. I see people using Ziploc bags, and I can never get it to work the way I want it to. So I keep these on hand, and sometimes I find these at sales or thrift stores and things like that. But even if I didn't, I would buy these new. And you can wash these, and you can also buy the ones that you can wash. And so if you want to do that, I think that's great. For me, though, this is what we're going to go with today. We're going to be making uh, what's called wedding cake buttercream icing. So we're going to get our 1 cup of Crisco or shortening. Crisco is just a name brand. Shortening is, and I know a lot of people are like, they don't like this. Use butter if you don't like this. Your end product is not going to be quite as white, but if you've ever had wedding cake, that's probably what this was, or what that was. All right, so I have 1 cup of, let me move you over so you can see what I'm doing. 1 cup of shortening. And like I said, depending on how far this goes, we might have to make another one, another batch. Okay, so it says to cream the butter or the Crisco or the shortening until smooth and fluffy. And we'll start that process. Now, it says 8 cups of powdered sugar. This jar is a half-a-gallon jar, and that's what it holds, 8 cups. Now, so we don't get a cloud of sugar, we're just barely going to turn this on, but the sugar is probably gonna go everywhere. So, okay. It calls for 2 tablespoons of milk. I have whole whipping cream, and so that's what we're using. It would be better if I had clear vanilla, but I don't. So what did I say? 1/4 teaspoon of almond. And then we're going to just add a little bit of water. And we're going to keep doing that until we get it to the consistency that we want. Okay. I think that's going to be good. Now this has cooled off quite a bit. Okay, fingers crossed. All right, the back came off easily. I do see a crack, a couple of cracks. I think that's why you want to use it like a pound cake, because I think that makes it easier to get it to stay together. We're going to be very gentle with this. The first thing we're going to do, I hope that fits in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put down kind of a smear of the icing. That way when I set it up, we're going to be very hopeful that it will stay put. Okay. Oh, look at that, guys. Look how pretty that is. Look. So I'm hopeful it'll fit in this one. We'll slide it all the way that we can. I'm hoping that that'll go down on there like it should. We can come over just a little bit more if we need to. So I'm just going to push this forward just a little bit, and we are going to get some icing in our piping bag. Okay, you see how the back has, I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, has a little crack in it, and so does this right here. Now I'm going to get the back so I have something to kind of look at. And I believe we're just going to do little swirls. I think it's turning out really well. We're probably going to put a little sweetened coconut on this, and that'll make it even prettier. Let's go ahead and get the back of the head. I want to make these look a little more like ears. We're just going to continue up the body, just like that. I'm going to go around the base so he's cemented good to the base. Now I'm going to make up some just real thin, like a glaze. And we're going to put that over his face. And we don't mind if it flows down because we're going to decorate it up and it's going to look really cute. Smooth. We want this really smooth. I'm a little nervous. Okay. It's going to be all right. We're just going to start up here. There will be some icing, more icing that goes up here. So all right. Continue across the top of his head. I'm just going to take a little toothpick, a little end, and I'm going to put it right inside that gummy, right inside that black jelly bean, and that's where the eye is going to be. Jelly beans, you can kind of form them so that it forms into kind of a nose. I dropped my toothpick. We're going to cut another one. Oh, here it is. No, doesn't that look cute? All right. Let's finish up we've got plenty of icing to finish this one. So I'm going to put him a little poofy tail right there. All right. Let's get just any little places that we see that we might have missed. All right. Now we're going to get the coconut. We're going to get some of that on him, and then we're going to get him in the refrigerator because I feel like he needs to cool down. We'll dye some coconut green and put around him. But for now, we're just trying to get just a little bit on him to make him look fluffy. What do you think? I think he looks really cute. All right, we're going to very gently bring him up and let you see him. And then we're going to put him into the freezer out in the garage. Nana loves you. Nana's so proud of you. And you always have a friend here.